I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't really understand what's going on with the media and how badly out of touch they've gotten.
They're getting a country where they're
everybody I talk to is pissed.
Yeah.
They are hot
in Texas.
And these aren't complex issues.
Right.
They understand that the Supreme Court just gave us a despot. They get it.
So
they're pissed.
I have an insight. I have an insight into what Mershon did. So if he sentenced Trump now, right? It's news for 2 weeks. If he goes to jail, he goes to jail for 3, or if it's probably going to be time served, he's probably, even if it's home confinement in Mar-a-Lago. By agreeing very easily, okay, we'll postpone it. He's basically going to be sentencing Trump and reminding everybody weeks before we vote. A part of me was like, oh, that's the smartest move you could make. Because then we get to analyze everything this douchebag did again. So I thought it was kind of smart. It's what I say on this show, scream sanity, but also we need to be as loud and we need to be, and I don't want to, diabolical as they are for justice as they are for injustice. We need to be just as diabolical as they are to get justice as they are to get injustice.
Well, and that's what I said. People you have to think about. You're right. In that debate, he never answered one question they asked him. And they tried at first to say, well, my question was, and then he would go off on his other, and it just made zero sense. Black jobs. Are we going to talk about what in the absolute shit is a black job in 2024?
The saxophone player for the Temptations. That's a black job.
3 to 4 Supreme Court justices are going to be appointed because Thomas is waiting for a Republican to get back in office so that he can cruise off into the sunset in his stolen RV and with his lovely wife. So think about that. A even more stacked Supreme Court. Then you look at what they're doing to women's bodies. They don't want exceptions. They don't want exceptions for rape, for incest, for the life of the mother. It's bullshit because when Trump says, oh, except for the life of the mother, then who determines that? So now doctors are so afraid to work on women that they're sending them home bleeding to death because what if I think, and then the court rules that she could have survived it. And then they're going to fight birth control, which would prevent the need for some abortions. Then they're fighting IVF, which would be predominantly affluent women trying to have a baby.
But you don't want that
so
to happen.
None of those all don't make sense.
No.
Oh, it's just about controlling women's bodies. It has nothing to do. And this is, like you said, this is serious shit that people need to consider.
But here's what they don't, and I think Paul's right at this. Here's what they don't get. You're right. Everybody's pissed about this. I keep saying, you guys seem to not be aware that you took half of the population's rights away.
Yeah.
Like that's half. You took half away. But here's what I keep telling Ray. There's something we don't know because you tell me what you think. Are they this dumb that they just can keep moving forward with this stuff that's so unpopular that 70% of the people think it's crazy? Do you think they're that dumb? Or because of the Supreme Court, because of all these things that are dropping into place, or do they know something we don't know? They're so sure that whatever, let's say Russia's involved again. Let's say they've got the voting machines rigged. Let's say, like, what do they know that they're this confident with this heinous shit that no American wants? Like, what do you think?
Their strategists are old.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
They're living in another era. They're living in an era where you could get Dan Rather on the tube, and that was the only message that everyone heard. They don't understand what is happening in the country right now. They don't understand that the left has broken away from the media. I don't know anybody that still has cable, to be quite honest with you, much less is relying on cable news.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they don't get it. And it's freaking them out. That's why, like I said, that's why they're trying to do things like kill TikTok. You know, a big wake-up call for them was, like I said, they had the snitch, the bounty website here in Texas. Do you know what keeps happening to that? It's been knocked down, I think, 3 times now.
Wow.
Because on TikTok, every time they bring it back up, they tell everybody, hey, this website's back up, and they flood it with false reports. So it's useless. It's unmanageable, useless data.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
old. They're old paradigms. They're old. They don't get it. They really don't get it. That's why they're sitting on the news today trying to say, well, Biden's going to step down. When there isn't a Democrat, I know, point to
No,
me
he's not. He's not.
a Democrat, a real Democrat, somebody that's an actual Democrat that is saying Biden needs to step down.
No.
Hell, even John Fetterman, who's, he's right on the line between Democrat and Republican. He is a conservative Democrat. Even John Fetterman's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fictional, and they don't understand how much this is pissing people off. They don't understand how this is just backfiring on them. Every single thing they do, they thought, we're going to look strong with Dobbs. We're going to get momentum off Dobbs. And then it blew up in their face because they did not fundamentally understand the American people anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't get it.
So what do you think? Well, all right. So then how did Trump get elected the first time? I mean, I get it. It wasn't the popular. People still argue with me. He lost the election. He won. He lost it by 3 million votes. So if that's true, do you think, because I think Trump did one thing. I think the one positive thing Trump did was he made all of us who didn't worry about politics and didn't think about it that much, think about it. Now we have to and we didn't. I don't think I was really aware how important the Supreme Court was. I just thought they decided stuff. I didn't realize how important they were till maybe 5-6 years ago, and then even more so now. So the good one thing he did do is, if he fails as a fascist dictator, if this takeover fails, I think we will stand strong as American. If it succeeds, we will lose America for decades. So how did Trump get elected if what you said is true? How did Trump get elected? I'm just being devil's advocate right now.
2016, how did Trump get elected? He was an unknown.
Right.
He was a relative unknown. All you knew about Trump was
Famous.
His fictional made up crap and The Apprentice. That's it. That's all you knew about the guy.
Right.
You didn't know he was such a ginormous asshole. Everybody knows now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows now.
Yeah.
That none of this is new. That's why the shtick isn't working. That's why after the debate, if you look at the actual numbers after the debate, the real paid for polls, the professional polls, every one of them, Trump, all he did was reaffirm for everybody exactly what he is.
Yeah.
We all know now. This isn't new anymore. And you ask, how did he get elected? You had a bunch of people that are just dealing with their lives. I was talking to Richard Ojeda about this. He voted for Trump. He did. He'll tell you, I voted for Trump. Biggest mistake of my life. Because I didn't want a Clinton dynasty. That's what I was voting against. I didn't want a Clinton dynasty.
Right.
I knew Hillary Clinton, but I didn't know Donald Trump. I didn't know the mistake I was making.
Yeah.
Every one of those people that did not show up for Hillary Clinton, I have not had one person ever tell me, that was a good idea. I'm glad I did that. They all regret it. That's what we're looking at going into this next election. And that's why they don't understand why Biden's old crap isn't sticking.
Yeah.
It's just not sticking because everybody knows he's a decent guy.
Yep.
His administration isn't because Joe Biden's out there negotiating every deal and this. He has a administration around him that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got badasses in his I keep saying that. I go, guys, you're not voting for Biden. You're voting for a dude who knows how to manage a bunch of people that are experts.
Yeah.
And that's why things are changing in the country again.